What's up, everybody? Welcome to Phlox'em All. Today we're actually doing something pretty fun. We're doing the KFPL Qualifier tournament. That is the 75 SAS floor reversal. I'm pretty excited about this. This is a format that I know has happened a couple times, but I've never gotten to participate in something like this. And I don't know. I think it's hard to take any kind of reversal tournament too seriously because everyone just feels the pain. But I think the 75 SAS floor was actually like a really good number. And looking through my decks, it was actually really hard to find a deck that I felt like would lose in a lot of matchups. We'll see if I ended up getting that right or not. But we have a few minutes here before it starts. So I'm going to go ahead and just talk through my deck and kind of my choices. So I ended up going with a deck that you might all actually be familiar on here. If you have watched my other videos, this is the Practical Tailor of Darkpath. This is one I actually opened really just a couple weeks ago, and I played it on some videos. It's a very fun deck. It's doing some really cool stuff. It has tons of crazy artifacts that are like doing all kinds of things. It's got the Orb of Wonder, it's got the auto encoder, it's got a library card, it's got Fission Bloom. In playing the deck though, I just noticed the deck it does a lot without really getting anywhere. Amber control when you need it is often not there. Amber generation is not as big as you would expect for a deck with 26 speed, and creature control as well. So I think I thought about a lot of different things about what this tournament was going to have, what people were going to bring. I might turn this down just slightly. And at this SAS level, I'm really expecting most decks to be like good at 2 out of 3 of these things, and then just have almost nothing of either Amber control, Amber generation, or creature control. I almost went that route too. I had a Worlds Collide deck. Let me see if I can pull that up. I believe it's this one, where basically it's just low on the Amber control, but I mean 6.9 is still more than this 5.3. And the thing with this one, and the thing I think I'm most worried about in general, is being handed decks with very little creature control. I think that's probably going to be the most common because it's pretty easy to find really good both Mass Mutation and Worlds Collide decks that just are very, very low on creature control. They might be doing a lot of other stuff, kind of like this one is, but if your opponent gets the board first, you just lose. And so that's kind of what I'm expecting to see a lot. The other thing I'm expecting to see a lot of is just almost no Amber control, especially from like Age of Ascension decks or Dark Tidings decks. I feel like those might be a little bit harder to find at this level because they'll probably have pretty decent Amber generation, which I think is also a scary thing to bring to a reversal tournament, because if they just draw well, they might just get enough Amber before your deck even starts doing anything. So I don't know. I spent actually probably too much time thinking about this, even though it's probably going to be just such a matchup dependent thing. But yeah, in practice, this deck just doesn't generate Amber the way its speed says it should. It has a really hard time stopping keys when it needs to. I think the Star Alliance especially is just very, very board dependent. Everything has to stick. Same kind of with the Logos. The Logos will draw a lot of cards, but it's not actually generating a ton of Amber doing that, except for this Master the Theory, which has an extra Amber pip. So if they get that with like the Fission Bloom and everything, yeah, they could have a decent Amber generation turn. But they end up with, maybe 4 creatures on the board, 3 of which are really not that difficult to deal with. The one that scares me the most is definitely the Sanctum, but I have to give them something. It's a 75 SAS deck. There's going to be some good stuff. Basically, I just have to gain control of the board first, and this one can't get it back super easily. It does have the Smite, it does have the standardized testing, but outside that, it basically just has to fight to win, and I'm hopeful that whatever deck I get, especially if I'm playing it knowing how important the board is in this matchup, that I can just get that board control first and kind of go from there. I do have to worry about these guys a little bit, the Crewman Yorgs, but for some reason I always think they have elusive, and they do not. So really, it's not that scary, except for there is a decent amount of taunt in here. Champion Ophiel, Ardent Hero, and Secure Droid. The Ardent Hero scares me a little bit, but people have such a high view of mass mutation that I don't think I'm going to see a whole lot of mass mutation unless it looks similar to this, where it's a deck that's kind of doing a lot without doing anything. What I'm probably expecting to see the most of, there could be some bad Call of the Archons decks, but again, I feel personally that SAS is the most accurate with Call of the Archons because it is a very straightforward set. So a 75 SAS Call of the Archons deck should be pretty decent. Age of Ascension and Dark Tidings, I think, are what we'll see the most. Dark Tidings, I think, because it is just the least accurate, or has been tuned the least to Dark Tidings. You're going to find some higher SAS DT decks that just do nothing. I don't own a DT deck that's over 71 SAS, so that wasn't really an option for me. But I think those are the ones I'm most worried about, although I would imagine a bad Dark Tidings deck is going to have Saurian and probably Sanctum or Untamed, which none of those should have a hard time fighting a board. So I don't think I'm super worried about that. Bad AOA. We'll see. Those are the ones I'm expecting to be basically 0 amber control, but do a lot of other stuff. And I think, again, if they're high on the efficiency, they're probably going to flood the board pretty fast, which, again, this deck could do that. So there is definitely a chance that I just get outboarded by this, but this doesn't really want to fight. So I, aside from some of the Sanctum, but even that, like, it's a pretty limited resource. And it kind of has to be reaping with the creatures. So I don't know. We'll see. Again, I've never done an event like this before. I've never had to pick out a 75 SAS reversal. I've never watched a 75 SAS reversal, so I am kind of just winging this. But given all that, I'm pretty excited to see how it goes. Let's take a look at the enhancements quick, because this is also kind of the place where the deck looks maybe better than it is. So first off, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 draw pips, along with a library card, along with an autoencoder, like all of these things that just make the deck look very scary. But when you look at the actual amber control, and I think this is where the deck is really just gonna fall apart, it's both amber control and creature control. For creature control, we have the 1 damage pip, and then the standardized testing and smite. After that, the rest of these are like fairly board dependent. They cost you your own creatures a lot of times. The Grey Rider's not bad. And again, the Sanctum is what I have to worry about the most. There'll probably be some big Sanctum turns, but I probably just need to try and hold some creature control for those turns and see if I can turn around on them there. For Amber control, it's not much else besides these capture pips. So we got 2 on the Gorm, which is great because once the Gorm comes down, if they don't use it, they're not getting those capture pips back. The Subject Kirby has 1, and then the Secure Droid. So there's a weird things get forced in this deck where your probably most optimal board control play is to go Sanctum, but your only like Amber control play is to go Star Alliance, but you need to draw more of both of those with Logos. So like, I don't know. If you see my other video, like, it is a fun deck and it does a lot of things, but it just has a really hard time winning against someone who is trying to beat it. So my hope is that, one, me knowing kind of how the deck plays already, and yeah, just getting to use a deck that should be fairly comparable SAS wise. I'm hopeful it works out. We'll find out in about 5 minutes we have before this starts, and I wasn't sure how long this intro would take. I'm trying to think of what else could talk about. The surveys are pretty funny in this deck. I think they're actually actively bad because most of the time you're not wanting to discard your like Logos or Sanctum, and so like it's very tempting to survey for the Star Alliance cards because that's kind of the house you're in already, and you might be able to draw more of them. But it's just not great. The Orb of Wonder, I think, is again a really cool card. This is the first Orb of Wonder deck I have. Knowing what to go find in this deck is kind of terrifying because it's just like nothing is that great. Usually you're just using it to get a piece of your library card turn, and again, if after that turn you might be left with not nearly as much as you had hoped. So we'll just have to see how it goes. It is a smaller field, so I think Karen said we're doing 4 rounds of Swiss and then top cut of 4, so shouldn't be too long or anything. I'm probably going to cut each of these and only record each game individually, so we'll do that. And I'm going to pop in the voice chat here, so I'm going to go quiet for just a minute. Well, I'll pop in there. I'm muted on here, so, and maybe I'll mute this. Still learning how some of the streaming stuff goes, so hopefully you guys can't hear what's going on in the voice chat. And I'm muted on there, so they should not be able to hear me. But I also can't hear them. So now I'm just not sure if people are talking and I can't hear it because of the Streamlabs stuff. But none of those say that they're not linking. Okay, we got the decks, so that's something we can start looking at while we're waiting for this to pop. Okay, so my audio is still working, it's just whether or not. Oh, there we go. I think I figured out why I couldn't hear stuff. All right, let's look at some of these decks. Oh, here we go.
Top of yourself, and that way you've got your money and your protection.
Oh, bullshit. I'm going to keep it below me. I'm protecting it. Is this like blind reversal, or is this like you know what you're getting reversal?
You know what you're getting, basically.
Yeah. Okay, because I like posted my deck there and I was like, oh, this is not DM.
Yeah, Aaron just posted everybody's decks, so you can look at them all by looking at the link in the general channel.
Sorry guys, I think, what in the world? I don't know if you're hearing that chat or not, but it's fine. Maybe I'll just cut this part out and
Hey,
re-record
we'll
it
leave at
later.
11 o'clock, and I'm a prompt individual. Okay, wife, they can hear this is an open mic. No trash talking me.
Oh, that's gonna be difficult.
Yes. Okay, so I will be doing my post today in the Judge Calls channel, so that's where I'll be making time calls and certain things. So watch that channel. There is that at reversal 75 cap, so hopefully that gets used when rounds are up. This is being run from challenge. Make sure you have your challenge link live because that's where you will get your link to your game. Join your game promptly because once we announce a round, we'll be starting a 40-minute timer. So that's including like 5 minutes of time for you to get there and then a full 35-minute game. So be prompt, get to your games. Of course, this is a 75 plus reversal. I don't think time's going to be an issue today, but I will make a time call somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes left. I'm not good at watching my clock, so it'll be between those numbers. That'll be my only time warning today, and then I will just call end of round if we get there. Standard time rules apply if your game goes to time. I've designated Joker to be last report. So if you are in a game against Joker, do not report it in challenge. Report it by DM to Karen. She will add it to the challenge when we are ready to start the next round. We need time to process drops and make sure all the reports are correct, and then we will put in the last game and start the next round. Otherwise, challenge auto pairs and you can't fix things. There's going to be a brief break between rounds 2 and 3. So one thing to note, especially with this being SAS cap reversal, we expect the rounds to go quick. We're not going to let the timer finish before starting the next round, right? When all games are reported, we'll make sure we have all our stuff put together. We'll put in Joker's round, we'll announce it, and next round starts. So don't take any extended bathroom breaks because your game got done in 10 minutes because they could all be done in 15. So make sure you're keeping track of that. But there'll be a short break between 2 and 3. And then there will probably be another short break between Swiss and Top Cut, right? Because we're going 4 rounds, then Top Cut. If you're dropping, let both of us know. So that way we make sure we process it because it really does make a mess if people drop and we don't get it in there correctly. Otherwise, it's just going to be good, clean, reversal, key forge. If something happens with game links, which does happen sometimes with this, whoever the top name in challenge is will remake the game, use lowercase KFPL as the password, and remember we're playing reversal, so you got to click that box that says reversal. So if some kind of links break or your opponent drops and they get dropped out and you have to remake a game, just top person make the game and use KFPL as your password so we can come watch as needed. Use DMs to communicate with your opponent if you're having problems getting them in a game. Anybody have any questions for me right now?
Is spectating allowed?
Sorry?
Is spectating allowed?
That is a question for Karen.
Yes, spectating is allowed. Though we'll have the streams live on Amber Meaties, but if something isn't being streamed that you'd like to see, you can spectate as with any tournament. I ask that you don't chat at all, because this is a high level play and we don't want to distract the players. So please refrain from chatting at all. I'll use if you accidentally type something, I'm not gonna instantly boot somebody from the tournament, but using the don't be a jerk kind of rule. For that, everybody have consideration. The other thing I wanted to mention, the password for all games will be KFPL all caps, which I will tag that. Okay, so actually all of our links are integrated. Do you have anything else you need to say as a judge for the event?
Nope, I think everybody's played enough Keyforge that this should go okay.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Ready to go. Okay, games are up. Timer can start. Let's do it.
Okay. Sorry about that. I think Ooh. I just should have been wearing headphones. I think is where we're at. So let me double check everything is going good. But I think, let's see, attachments. Got our game link. Join. And we've got Darkpath. Okay, so we're up against Miseo. Sorry if I'm not saying that right. It's hard to know on here. And they have joined. Hopefully my audio and everything is actually functioning good now. I think. Let's see. Gotta make sure I'm keeping up on that. Timer is live. Okay. So we've got, all right, Call of the Archons with lots of steel, some fears, John Smith, Crystal Hive, and Hypnotic Command. Okay, feeling pretty good about this one. So we're gonna keep this hand and just hope everything is good for us to start. That's a bummer. I like this hand. Okay, so we're gonna make a new game. And it should be KFPL. Just waiting for that link. Hope they were remaking. Oh, here we go. Sweet. Oh, all uppercase. Feel like. Okay. And Darkpath. This is a lot of Mars. I think I keep it and just see if we can do. The sequencing here is really funky, but I want to get that Crystal Hive down and see if we can get value pretty early on. I think we're going to start with the John Smith. So again, not a ton of creature control. So hopefully they kind of have to do some. Okay, there you go. Master the Theory is not a bad start with the 2 Amber Pips and an Archive and a Daughter. Okay, so we're just going to Hypnotic Command 2 of that Amber onto that Daughter. We're not killing it this turn, but definitely not a bad start. We won't be able to kill it, unfortunately, because the, well, I actually could. Because I can fight. All right, let's do that. So we're going to play the Crystal Hive, drop the Tunk on the right. Oh, we're going to Hypnotic Command 2 Amber there, and then we're going to fight, ready, fight. So starting off with 2 ready creatures. Crystal Hive is down now, so that should be plenty scary for them, for me to even just go back into Mars. That's a 4 Amber, or 6 Amber turn if they don't deal with this. And then we've got a great disc turn. These are some good hands, I would say, so far. So they're going back into Logos. Probably see, yeah, the standardized testing. That's a bummer. So kind of a funky turn here. I think I just need to get creatures down, and I don't want to play Tolas right now. So we're going to go Dis. We're going to discard the Fear. I think I just discard Tolas. Do I? They would have to work pretty hard to kill my creatures here, because they just used that. So we know Snudge is coming down. We are going to play 1 Schuler. And I think I do just play the Tolas down. And we're going to hold this other Schuler. No, we're just going to play it, I think. Like I said, pushing board is what's going to win us this game. Definitely had some lucky draws so far, so feel a little bad about that. But it's the way it goes. Pretty nice Shadows follow-up, and really just a nice Dis follow-up if we need it. Okay, so we see the Kirby come down. Plays a Zealot to fight Snudge, I would guess. Would be a very good fight for them. And then we'd each get an Amber off the Tolas. Oops. Plays a Secure Droid, probably to protect the subject Kirby. It's fine. 2 captures on it. So there goes most of their Amber control. I think, sorry for the noise, pretty happy with the way this game is going so far. They did have a big follow-up here with this Starland. Ooh, Explo Rover on the Zealot would be rough. Just 1 damage to kill the Tolas. Damages itself. And a tank. My goodness. So they just played their entire 7-card hand, but did not fight with the Zealot. I mean, I'm going back to Dis with this, right? Make sure I understand how Tolas works. Each time a creature is destroyed, its opponent gains 1. So every time I fight here, and I don't die, but they die, I will gain 1. So we're going to go back into Dis. Drop the Bobble. I think I do just want to do the damage with the Gongoozle here and make him discard. See if we can get something spicy. Let's hit this guy, because we're probably not going to kill him this turn. So we get a Subdue. Cool. So we're gonna, let's wait on that. Fight. Fight. I think we fight the Yorg, because we're also going to fight with the and bounce the Tink and just reappear. So gumming up their hand a little bit. We have some good targets for the Relentless Whispers now. Really, I think we drew what we needed to early this game. They're going to have a hard time coming back from this. They're going to have to take some Logos turns just to get their momentum going. The Sanctum turn could hurt. I think I should have killed the Tolas there. I didn't. I'm playing it a little bit risky. Okay, the Barrister Joya is definitely a problem. And that will fight the Snudge, I'm guessing. It gives us another Amber. And does shut down these from bouncing and stealing, but again, they're pretty slow on the Amber gain here, so... how do we want to do this? I think I'd just go Shadows and put some of this stuff down. Not worry about the Joya yet, and I think it's worth it to just kill the Tolas. Well, do I want to go Shadows yet? Nah, let's go Dis. So we're going to Fear the Joya, which gives them the drop hit, but I think I'm okay with that. I think we just want to fight this off now. And then we'll just Reap and see if they gain more Amber for us to steal with the Shadows. I've got the Poison Wave too. So, going pretty good so far on this first round. This is the kind of deck that I would probably buy like off the secondary market. Not that I do that very often, but it's just got some really fun stuff. The triple Umbra with the Shadow Selves, and the Deep No Spy Master, 2 Zizix the Many. But this Dis, getting that early was just brutal. Or really that Mars start too with the Hypnotic Command. Okay, so their Orb of Wondering for Star Alliance turn. What are they looking for in Star Alliance? Dino Alien? Because the Subdue is gone. That's what we discarded with the Gongoozle. Which is actually a big hit. That's one of the only creature controls in there. That's interesting. It does not say what they picked up. Okay, so they fight off one of the Schulers. Plays a Dino Alien to exalt and kill the other. And Mutagen Researcher. Survey. So this is where that Survey could actually hurt them a lot. Because most likely they're looking at 2 cards that are not Star Alliance, and basically you only want to discard Star Alliance cards with the Survey. So we'll see if they hit. But drawn pretty good, so can't complain, but also this is a competitive event, so I just got to go with it. Discard the Causal Loop, okay, so that'll slow down the library card turn eventually. And I mean, man, it's just going pretty well. Set up very well for this Poison Wave, and got 2 Amber now to steal with the Shadows. So I'm going to Poison Wave first, because that'll give us another target with the Relentless Whispers. Drop these guys, and then drop... So now they probably have, well, let's say they're going Logos. Yeah, so library card. I think that means these guys are surviving. There's not a lot of standardized testing is gone. Yeah. Man, now I feel bad. This is, I don't know if I like reversal. I'm too, I want my opponent to have fun. Which maybe they are still, because... No, probably not. This is going pretty rough for them. And we've got the Shadow Self Moon Cursor coming down next turn too, so... They're drawing a lot. There you go. There's the Kronos. Problem is they kind of used up a lot of their fuel for the library card. And they didn't deal with my board, so we are just going to go back into Shadows here to protect the Umbra, and just drop these guys and do some stealing. Moon Cursor, and then we will... I want to kill this, but I think getting rid of this Tirado is more important, just so they don't get the mutant value. And now, yeah, this deck has a very difficult time dealing with this combination right here. 9 damage on a Shadow Self when you don't have the standardized testing anymore is just going to be tough. So Forgot to see. Somebody asked about reporting. I don't know. We can ask when we're done. Okay, so Gormvom comes down. They capture twice. They play a smite, which they need to do because we've got lots of good stuff on the board here. They fought Umbra. Makes sense. Barrister Joya comes down, which is a problem for us because it's got the armor, so the Moon Cursor can't kill it with poison unless we also fight with the Umbra. But this might be a turn, just since we know this is so hard for them to deal with. If I just drop this Mars and threaten Crystal Hive next turn, I don't think it's happening. Okay, Grey Rider is not bad, but again, they don't really have, great options here. And since they're still on 0 amber, I don't feel bad just dropping these guys, especially since these have nothing to steal. So, okay, so Shadow Self is gone. And plays an Ardent Hero. So this is where, the Sanctum will probably get them back in the game to a decent amount. But they didn't protect the Barrister. I think that might be pretty big for us. Just want to make sure. I'm like paranoid that my recording is going to cut out for some reason, or that my like audio isn't working or something, but I think we're okay. The only thing is just how my mouse keeps kind of cutting in and out if I switch between screens. Man, lots of Sanctum here. So this is where, like, honestly, this deck probably, it doesn't have creature control either. So I think, let's see, where do you equalize? Yeah, that's fair. If they just go, oh, I guess they can kill that with a Gorm, so we might not be able to threaten the Crystal Hive, but yeah. All right, so we're just gonna drop a bunch of Mars and see how they answer. No reason to Crystal Hive, so we've got another Shadow Self, which can protect this Umbra if they don't kill it, but they're probably going to kill it here. And we do have ways to kill the Barrister now. Can't kill this very easily, though, which is unfortunate. And they can reap for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so they could just go all the way to check here and still get some fighting in, but they don't have too many favorable fights. Techno Knight doesn't have skirmish. The Ardent Hero can fight, but nothing else really survives after that except for the Techno Knight, and that'll leave the Gorvenal open. So we'll see. So Crystal Hive is gone, which is rough. And we don't have the best lineup left. We kind of got a lot of our good stuff early there, so probably just try and finish this out with Mars. So they're not getting those two captured back. They probably have recycled into some of the Star Alliance capture. Ooh, Smite's the... Okay, so just did the fight ability first. Okay, so there goes the rest of our shadows. There's the Orb of Wonder back down. I could play these two just to threaten some of those. Ardent Hero fights a Tunk. Plays a Zealot, probably to also fight the Tunk. But I would be surprised if they keep fighting like that. But, I mean, they have plenty of bodies to do it with at this point. It's just that the rest of them kind of die to the Tunk. And they're still... they could maybe go to check here. Oh, man. All right. The Sanctum is, like I said, what I was scared of, so gonna have to be fast here. So Reaps with the Grey Rider to fight with Cronus, seems like. So cancels the Grey Rider effect, so probably just a misplay there, unless they just didn't want to fight with it. Discards Vision Bloom to get an autoencoder. And Equalize to pass some of that amber around from the Gorvenal. So this is where hopefully Tunk kind of starts earning its value. So this is a lot I got to deal with here. But I think I have to go into Mars at least one more turn here. Man. Yeah, this could get bad pretty fast. Do have some targets for that. So we're going to fight into the Joya with the Tunk. Play this on the left to heal the Tunk. We will remove the stun. Play another Zizix. Do we want to fight something here? Maybe the Grey Rider? Yeah, because we don't want that Techno Knight fighting twice. It was going really good until they drew 9 Sanctum cards. Now all of a sudden it's going downhill a little bit, but Smite's gone, Grey Rider's gone, Equalizer's gone, so they're going into Starlines. That's fine. They probably can subdue something here, and they'll capture some and play a lot of creatures. But hopefully they're not generating too much amber, and if they're not killing these guys, then we start cycling pretty well. Just archiving this. Shadows. So plays a Survey. Discards a Tink. Plays a second Survey. Discards Daughter. Uses Orb of Wonder to go find. Wonder. Either Kirby or Secure Droid, probably, because the Dino Alien is still alive and does not survive any fights right now. Garcia. Makes sense. Subject Kirby with capture. Torado is definitely scary. They could mutagen here for 2 draws. I wonder if this is actually the call this next turn. Oh, they got Skirmish on that. That's rough. And then they kill the Think Drone. Subdues a Zizix. Man. I think we're gonna lose this one now. That's really unfortunate. Yeah, so that's, you know, lessons learned. I wonder if I was a little bit too aggressive fighting with these guys early on. If I should have left them more undamaged. Secure droid on Torado. Captures aren't doing anything. It's not looking good. How do we deal with this? Gonna go dis. Gonna play Shuffles. Play Pandemonium. What do we need to deal with here? Gorvanel is a problem. The Yorgs are a problem. It's a lot of problems. Wonder. So we're gonna fight probably with the Tunk here. Let's drop this. And then we'll Dominator the Tunk. Yeah. Have to shut down that draw, I think. They probably go back into Star Alliance just because of all the stealing they'll get. But it's not looking great. See this deck. So it's not. Okay, so they do their library card turn. Makes sense. But that means they're not using these Yorgs, which could give me a small opening. I don't really have a great way to kill them this turn. So there's the serum. Plays a standardize, which kills the Dominator and the QMEX. It's a causal loop. It's be interesting if they're actually able to draw through and just pick all this stuff up again. That'll be pretty brutal. That might be where they're at. They only have one creature on board to use, and they are going to do that fighting. Now they're going to see if they can redraw it off of the rest of their logos. So I guess this is the only Yorg that can actually steal. Okay, well, could have been worse. We don't want to go dis, even though that seems like it'd be really nice to just blow up that amber. right. Have to get some of this board state back. So we'll go shadows. What is worth killing here? I really don't like that thing. And then we're going to Relentless Whispers. It's scary. Oh, and we did not draw into the Amber control that we probably need here. So that might be game. It started off so well. So I guess I want them to see some of this Sanctum early so that I have a chance to kill it before they just build a massive board that I can't deal with. But I'm trying to think of what other deck I could have given them that would have been like this. So another Subdue on the Spymaster. It's unfortunate. They still have the Serum this turn too if they need it. But most likely we have to go into Dis here just to stop the key. And they're just going to try and kill my board. Oh, so that positioning of the Grey Rider makes this a possible kill. Not that I have many ways to kill it. Okay, there goes the Equalize. That's good. There's another Survey. There's a Researcher. I don't know where we're at on time. Oops with Garcia. Man, are they just going to get more Amber than I can even deal with this turn? So I can't fight with the Tunk because that it would die. We have to go Dis here. Right, to stop the key. So this guy only captures 2, which is just not quite enough. I can't play them. Yeah, I think we're pretty much done here. Can't use these guys, that's done. So only capture 2, yeah. So we have to go Dis. We'll Lash, we will Unstun. And I cannot kill the Gorvanal this turn. Let's play this guy. Do I even play this then? What can I fight with this that lives? Or do I just pop their Serum? Yeah. That's all I got. Barrister's down, so no reaping. Orb of Wonder's back down. Gorm is back down. Okay. Just gotta learn from that and keep going. Next round, I think. Well, obviously I'm not gonna be playing with this deck next round. Discarding the Fears is maybe a bad idea. I guess I discarded one of them. I bounced the Barrister with the other. Standardized. They were able to cycle back to the standardized pretty well. I'd have to go back and see if there was a turn where I could have gotten to check, but I don't think there was for that last key. And as soon as they did that one Sanctum play, it just went downhill. Zealot's back down, that fights Nexus. So I can't use my orb, because that would actually be an out if I could go get Hypnotic Command. Dump all that amber onto the Gorvanol and then fight it. But that would be a 2-turn combo, because I'd have to be able to use the Nexus, use the orb, go get that, and then come back. So, see, I don't see a timer anywhere, so I'm not actually sure where we're at on time, but I mean, this game is theirs, so. Yep. And just starts clearing my board. Dang. All right, well, there you go. First game in the first qualifier, and got smashed by my own deck. But 2 keys to 3. That's not bad. Okay, I think since it's going to be 2 rounds and then a break as far as I heard. Well, maybe I cut it off here just in case some of the games are going long. So we'll see you in the next round of KFPL 75 SAS floor reversal. Thanks.